the boat. I like rocking the boat, and I like, I've always been a loose cannon. So I find a good home at some places that just take what I write. But and I don't care where they are relinked. I say relink everything. Post stuff in whole. I don't care. I did put I put a couple of my books on free on Amazon. For some reason, I couldn't do it until starting tomorrow. But a couple of my books will be free on Amazon tomorrow. Just if anybody's that broke, you can download them.
I tell you, it is a freeing feeling, though, to not, because I always never worship money, but now I don't even care. I just want to get the word out and stop this or save as many people as I can and just get my ass ready and get right with God.
What's the point? What's the point of we're like running a kayak and windsurfer stand on the beach at Thailand. It's like, look, I can see, getting your money back for the last guy to bring his windsurfer back on time, but it's really time to be thinking about heading for high ground.
It ain't worth dying, especially when you got kids. I'm going to go to some phone calls. We're going to go ahead and talk to Andrew. We're going to talk to Joseph, Billy, Shane, Crystal, everybody right now. Let's go ahead and talk to Andrew in Ohio. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, gentlemen. It's great to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Thanks. I just wanted to ask Mr. Brecken about what he thought about the Dreamer riots in California, and I was listening to your guys' analogy about the Wizard of Oz earlier, and it was really funny, and I bet another analogy could be made about these Dreamer riots, basically like the Munchkins being told to turn on Dorothy as she's trying to free the land of Oz.
Sure, but these guys are ideological. You have to understand, we have gone so far, just to isolate the Southwest, for example. Every university, every college, the last 40 years has had a very strong mecha outfit. Imagine a group called the White Student Union, and their symbol is a lit dynamite bomb. And the word means fuse, mecha. Just imagine that. You'd have to be in an
alternate reality. Means the race.
La Raza is the race. Mecha is fuse with a lit dynamite bomb logo. Well, for 40 years, university students have been graduating. They're now U.S. attorneys. They're judges. They're mayors of towns. You are never going to close the border if the mayor of an adjoining town is a traitor who is pipelining drugs and criminals through his
Well, that's it. They're criminalizing all the cultures. Mexico's fallen to criminal culture. We're falling. And it's not the great people coming in that we elevate. It's literal gangsters. They're always catching, like, the mayor's brother or whatever here, like,
sure,
running smugglers through his house, and they're, like, torturing him and stuff for more money. And it's just total crazy thugs. And oh, man, I tell you, it is so wild.
The people in La Raza and Mecha believe completely in Marxism. They are Marxist. They're pro-Palestinian. They're all the left-wing causes, anti-Islamophobia, quote unquote. But they are really hating big time on Whitey. Look up the Plan of Aztlan. They actually
that's
have
how they compare to the Plan of San Diego. Do you meant the Plan of San Diego?
Exactly, or called the Plan de Aztlan, but Plan of San Diego, exactly. And they make no bones about it. They're going to wipe out the white guys. It's the brown race. It's the new bronze race, which is ridiculous. I wrote something else called The True History of the Southwest 101. The Spanish came in as conquistadors. They weren't loving on the Indians. They burned them. They dragged them and
terrible. But that's what I mean, though, is that it's just all twisted history. It's not even real.
Very twisted.
And this whole Aztlan plan is like a twisted German, Austrian-Hungarian Empire World War I manipulation. It's like an old battle plan running.
I'm sorry. I'm confusing the Plan of San Diego. The plan of Aztlan.
Yes.
That is this is what they still have as the Constitution.
No, I understand the Plan of Aztlan, absolutely. But it all interfaces. Thank you, Andrew. Let's get in one more here before we go to break. Billy in Texas. Billy, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Matt what he thought. I was reading up on the Mecha organization earlier, and I couldn't help but make a connection between what Judicial Watch has been saying and what you guys have been saying about the Muslims coming in, the radical Wahhabis, coming in across the border, and also the radicalization. How prone are these social justice warriors to radical Wahhabis?
You have to understand that it doesn't matter that women are chained up like dogs. It doesn't matter that they make them wear bags over their heads. It doesn't matter if they execute gay people or the communist Chinese kill gays. They don't care because it's anti-American, anti-West. so it must be good. They don't care that weird, twisted, sicko billionaires are running it all and laughing at them. It is the way to sabotage all these immigrants and others to never actually go up in society. It's meant to balkanize.
It's destabilization. It's a destabilization program. It's intentional. It's like putting so many people in the life raft that it has to tip over and send everybody into the water.
That's it.
You know, you're saying, oh, we need to put 10 more refugees in the life raft. You say, it's only at 1 inch above the waterline. No, we have to put 10 more in, or you're a bigot and a racist. The plan is to turn over the life raft and put everybody in the water.
They're gearing up for it. Anything else, Billy?
I just wanted to say I really support you guys. Just got my first InfoWar product and support my Hillary for Prison t-shirt. And God bless you. Thank you guys for everything you're doing.
All right. God bless you, sir. I appreciate the call, Billy. Let's go ahead and take another call. I'm going to skip this network break because it's so important. Let's go ahead and talk to Joseph in Pennsylvania. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. Hello, Mr. Bracken.
Welcome.
Alex, you and your guests are unbelievable. From Bracken to Billy Corrigan to Roger Stone to everyone. It's unreal, and I thank you.
Well, we're all discredited. That's why we're exploding and they're dying. We're discredited. Fox News and CNN said I'm discredited. Oh, no.
Learn more in 10 minutes from Matt Bracken than I can learn in 10 years on the television.
Now, it is kind of fun to watch the ladies cross their legs and uncross them. But, yeah, other than that, you know, there's better stuff than that on the internet. I want to go see that stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just would like Matt and you to talk about the troops that the UN just put on the Russian border and the other aggressive maneuver that was made to the C-130 by the Russian fighter jet, I believe 2 days ago or something like that, the barrel roll.
That's happened a bunch. Yeah, what do you make of NATO's moves? And like Fox News, I mean, I'm not saying Russia's perfect, but they've got 2 or 3 bases. We've got hundreds. They're moving troops in. They ran the color revolution there 2 years ago in Ukraine, trying to put crazy right-wingers in. They're playing Catholic off against Orthodox, using, again, sociology, classic anthropology tactics, admitting they spent $5 billion to do it. George Soros, again, quarterbacking it as usual.
Ukraine was a destabilization op. If you want to see what they're planning here, look at other destabilization ops. They're using a playbook. You can see what's going to happen.
Yeah, they did destabilization all over Africa and the Middle East to put radical jihadists in. I mean, so why do they want this destabilization? They already pretty much run the world. Why are they doing something so dangerous?
Because we're going to hit the wall. Mathematics, you can't escape from mathematics. Over on Zero Hedge, gosh, his name's escaping me right now. But I mean, yeah, you can't fudge mathematics. You can't pretend that 2 + 2 = infinity. I mean, there's the end of the debt crisis is coming, and rather than be blamed for it, rather than be sitting in New York and get called down to appear in front of Congress, they're going to burn it down. They're going to blow it up and burn it down. Oh, gee, it was an act of God. But don't worry, I've got tons of gold down in Chile, down in New Zealand, and when it's all over, I'm going to fly back after the blood is a little sticky from running in the streets, Rothschild there. They're going to fly back and pick up some more castles and estates at fire sale prices. Now, if a few countries go completely, haywire, that's all right. There's plenty of other countries and plenty of more castles.
No, that's it. Just like in Goodfellas, when they've maxed out the bar and everything they can, they burn the sucker down. This is almost a scorched earth retreat.
That's what it is. It's a mafia burnout. It's a mafia takedown. They're crashing it. Then they can blame external forces, acts of God. Oh, it was a war. But don't worry, when it's all over, we'll fly back in and pick up the best castles at dirt cheap prices.
You know what? They could have pulled this stuff off before, and they've gotten away with it a little bit. But the fact that the message has already gone out, the books are written, people are saving these videos. No matter what they do, we're going to reconstitute this country and others, and we're going to go get them. And this time there won't be they'll be arrest some 97-year-old guard because some document said their name was similar and take them to Israel as a Nazi, just as and then the ADL gives awards to real Nazis. I mean, they're not going to get away with it this time. I guarantee you they have gone too far pulling this off, and I guarantee you the elites and their stinking families that are involved in it are going to pay. And I think it's important to let them know that we're here explaining you're going to pay. Go ahead, sir.
It is. It's like warning the Nazis. We're in certain circumstances, even POWs warned their bosses, look, you can see how the war is going. You can't kill us all. At the end, there's going to be trials. Well, I don't know what the end of this looks like. If it's a true bottleneck event, we could wind up in a new dark age. A plan to ride a tiger is not the same as riding a tiger. A plan to burn down the house and then, buy the ashes for pennies on the dollar, it might not work out that way. We could enter a new dark age. In terms of cycles, you could say the biggest cycle, the one cycle, is mankind going from hunter-gatherer to modern man. First, he had to master mass agriculture. Once he did that, a city became possible. They domesticated first plants, then animals.
It's taken 8,000 years to get to this point, bare minimum, and now it's so unstable. All elites, all statisticians, all main engineers admit it. It's teetering even if we try to keep it together. And the fact that they're trying to use crisis to consolidate is the craziest. Look. It's like the Deepwater Horizon, it's been confirmed, was ordered to dump seawater in because an executive knew they could save $1 million an hour, basically, with the amount of concrete and mud they were dumping in. And they had multiple crews quit, so they put a crew on that would say, okay, dump water on it. Some guy in Houston says so because some guy in London gave him an order. It's like, no, the engineers know. You do not dump seawater in there to pressurize it. I mean, it's delusion.
To save a buck. Just to save a buck. But, when this crisis happens, if it becomes irrevocable, I mean, you almost would say a Stalinist North Korea in 1984 would be better than a total grid-down Mad Max.
I agree.
With every other nuclear plant going Fukushima, going Chernobyl. I mean, if the plants, if the staff at the nuke plants, they have families too. They don't want to. They're not just going to altruistically chain themselves to their position.
And in 3 weeks, they all blow up.
Or whatever it is. I mean, I haven't heard definitively.
I've had the engineers on the pinning. It's 2 to 4 weeks.
It's not sounding good, and there won't even be a response like the Russians. The Soviets were able to. I mean, very heroic Soviets. You can say what you want about the Russians, but they have very brave men and women. They put hundreds and hundreds of firefighters and other great people on the roof of that building, glowing building, to work for 2 or 3 minutes. They're all dead in a year. And it took that just to cap that sucker. If we have runaway nukes, who's going to, in a grid down scenario, there's nobody organizing a rescue of these nuclear plants. They're just.
That's why I talk about it's so dangerous, the phenomenon where people don't help each other anymore. When someone's run over in the street or a woman's been raped, people think it's so cute to only care about themselves. 7 million people in major university studies starved to death or via malnutrition associated with malnutrition during the Great Depression here, and 90% of us were agrarian, and more than half of those were totally self-sufficient. We are now reverse numbers. 89% urban, 11% rural, 5.5%, half of them are self-sufficient. My God, 5.5% self-sufficient versus 60%, 50%. I mean, we're talking time bomb.
Yeah, I say, how much food do they grow inside of your beltway? Because that's the only food you're going to have maybe for years or at least months. Best case scenario, you might have to figure out, how do I survive for just a few months? When the Pilgrims came over, some of their first colonies were lost due to starvation.
Jamestown, all of them, everybody died.
Right, and if you have a giant city, the people aren't going to stay in the city and die. One of the little essays I wrote in a collection called "Trapping Feral Pigs and Other Parables of Modern Life," the lemmings don't stay on the island where they overbred because of a great summer, lots of grass seeds. They don't stay on the island. They bust out of there. When grasshoppers, which are the same as a locust, a grasshopper is a locust, but when a grasshopper population gets up so high that they begin touching each other, releases hormones, they turn into these big armored flying war insects called locusts. They do not stay and die. So we're going to see some very radical transformations. When cities are starving, it's going to be very dangerous.
Within months, there's going to be all sorts of, if this happens, warlords will rise up. There'll be 50 armored vehicles coming down your street, heads on pikes. I mean, it's going to be hell on earth.
It will be. And that's why if people are fit and can take the ocean, read my Get Yourself a 30-footer and Go. If you have a little bit more money, get a 40 or a 50-footer. But even if you're a broke teenager, you can rehab a 30-footer that you get for nothing.
Well, it's what everybody wants. There's some type of weird racial consciousness to want collapse and destruction, and there's a lot of little nobodies that want to be rulers, so they've imagined how they're going to put on little black uniforms and be in the new commie brigade.